Hi everyone, it's Frugal here. As always, I have my coffee, otherwise somebody might just get killed. So today, let's talk about semigrating and working remotely. So what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years has been that a lot of people had to work from home as they couldn't actually go into the office due to regulation or legal matters or diseases or pandemics or other matters. Now, what this basically meant is that a lot of people that previously could work from home maybe 1 or 2 days a week or could not work from home at all, now could work from home permanently. Now, in some cases, we do get big companies, big corporates that now say as well, now you need to come back, come back, you need to come into the office. And a lot of people then say, well, then I'm quitting my job because the quality of living that I have working from home is so much better than being in a terrible, toxic working environment. Now, interesting on this is that, well, people do. And then if the company says, well, that's fine, you can work from home, we love you, so please go home, stay home, be safe, we love you, that's absolutely fine, and only come into the office maybe once a month. That is really convenient and really cool because now you can move out of the big city. So what a lot of people do is they say, listen, I live in Joburg, but I'm moving a little bit out into the farmlands on a plot of land, and during the early mornings and then evenings and then also over weekends, I can basically create a garden, a vegetable patch. I can start, just living a little bit more. Now, this is wonderful. Right? It's a good standard of living now because now you're in nature. When you open your door or when you're in your home office, you're staring out into the wild and you're seeing wild animals, and it's really cool. But what about now if you have to go to the office once a month? Why not move to, say, coastal cities, right? Like some places like George and Knysna and Ballito and those places, because that's very convenient. You're now actually able to, work remotely, and if you need to come to the office once a month or once a quarter, that's wonderful. Quickly fly up for that day or that 2 or 3 days, and then fly back, and you've got your great standard of living back in your home office, and it's amazing. That is basically semigration, right? And working remotely at the same time. Semigration is basically moving out further away from work, and you can basically work from anywhere. Now, in some cases, people say, listen, I work digitally. I'm a software developer. I am a digital marketer. I work as a copywriter. I work on the internet. I basically do accounting, and I don't need to come to the office. You can email me everything that you need. For those people, I know of some on Twitter and some friends that are moving to places like Bali or Vietnam. Now, what's cool about that is that you can get a visa for 3 months. Some of those countries, some places like Thailand, some places like Indonesia, you don't need a visa for if you're a South African citizen. What's cool about that even more is that then you can stay there, work there for 3 months, and the living cost there is really low. Get to live a life great over weekends, early mornings and the evenings after work. You can sit in a coffee shop and work or do whatever you like as long as the job gets done. Now, those are called digital nomads. Now, in some cases, you might say, listen, those people are running their businesses, which some of them are, or they're just working remotely as digital nomads right across the world, and they're still getting paid in their local currency, which might be South African rands. So other things that might happen as well, which I have seen, is people work for a company in the US or in the UK, and they live anywhere in the world, and they just transfer the money to wherever, which is cool. Because again, all that you're doing is you're just sponging off like the low living costs there, you're saving a lot more, the stress levels are quite a lot lower, and you get to live, which I think is awesome. And I encourage people to say, listen, if you can, and you want to have a better quality of living, less stress, you don't have to go to the office, why not? Now, yes, we do know that a lot of people would then say, listen, if I have to go back to the office, they will resign their job. And I think that's fair, because who wants to sit in an office when you can sit, get your work done, and actually, work hard? The bad part of this is that a lot of what studies have shown is that about 60% of people now, bosses, expect you to answer emails after working hours because you're working from your office, which now is your home. Now, this does cause some issues with regards to boundaries between what is work and what is personal life. Now, as long as you can keep those separate to say, this is my work life, this is the hours that I'm working, and this is what I know is acceptable to sacrifice for work. And this then is my personal life. I know that I will not, work will not influence this. This might be spouse time. It might be time with your kids and your family. It might be time for your exercises, for example, running on the beach or going to the gym or all of those things. And you know that that is the boundaries that I have. Once you've got that in place and you know that this is what you're allowed to do and not do, then that could just work perfectly. So, if you're interested in semigrating, do a bit of research. Here's a couple of top tips. Number 1, do research about your destination and check what is the rent, because rent can be very expensive in smaller towns such as George, Mossel Bay, Knysna, all of those ones. They tend to be Ballito even. They're really, really expensive because a lot of people are now semigrating to those regions. Number 2, find out what is the facilities like. That would be things like internet, things like schools, things like, does it have power grid issues? Some of the smaller towns do get cut off, which is really terrible. So number 3, fly down, actually go and check it out. Go and see what the properties are like before you just decide to move down. Don't go stay in an Airbnb there for 6 months. That can get really expensive. Go and find the place that you're looking for and, just get that. Just decide this place is good, the area is acceptable, the internet connection is good there, and, you've tested it. And the facilities, so for example, if you're looking for a supermarket close by or not, what is, and start thinking about a budget for that, right? And the next one is basically start organizing with your boss, moving down, and when you're going to move down, and when you're going to start working, how much time you need for that. And then the fifth one is basically start enjoying your life as a semigrated worker. So now that you know a little bit more about semigration and working remotely, have a wonderful day. Happy investing.